Episode 95, I'm super handsome. Useless big boss. Ahahaha. I think you're a bunch of old ladies. You guys are like glass, one touch and you shatter. As the mocking voice of the game cartoon character action figure echoed, the two black-clad assassins instinctively hesitated but refrained from taking action. You fools, even the gods dare not step in here, yet you seek your own death. The sound effects of the cartoon character action figure, sometimes male, sometimes female, were alternately deep and roaring, or bright and clear. Just for $9.98, I can make you feel so good that you can't breathe. Oh. Weird, I really want to shoot something. I have two guns, one is called shoot, and the other is called, ah. Is there something leaking out? The game lines from the cartoon character action figure continued to play incessantly. Ningxi on the second floor twitched the corners of her mouth slightly. While these lines indeed came from the electronic sports game that person played, stringing them together or listening to them individually always felt a bit strange. Well, strange. After the animated action figure had been chattering for a few minutes, one of the black-clad assassins couldn't take it anymore. The noisy calls from the toy made it impossible for him to concentrate and think of effective countermeasures. The black-clad man originally wanted to make a gesture to the other man, but the building was completely dark except for the dimly glowing cartoon character action figure. There was no person or object visible to the naked eye. Damn it, I should have brought night vision goggles. The black-clad man cursed inwardly. Then, very carefully, he extended his right arm, intending to shoot at the cartoon character action figure. Bang! A muffled gunshot rang out again. Along with the black-clad man's screams, he hadn't had the chance to shoot. This shot came from the second floor, precisely hitting his right palm. Their screams are so weird. The lines from the cartoon character action figure continued. Ningxi on the second floor, equipped with night vision goggles she found in the room, couldn't help but admire the completeness of that person's equipment. Apart from heavy weaponry, everything was available. At this point, the black-clad man fell to the ground, his body sliding out, and with night vision goggles, Ningxi had no visual obstacles in the pitch-black night. Invisible showing off is the most deadly. With the lines from the cartoon character action figure, Ningxi fired another accurate shot, directly resolving the black-clad man who had been howling in pain. The cries abruptly stopped. And you, young man, need a few shots? The direction of the cartoon action figure seemed to be aimed at the last remaining black-clad assassin, as if responding to his words. Oh, my big knife has been itching for a fight. The last black-clad assassin's eyes flashed with a fierce look. He raised his gun and fired several shots towards the second floor. However, without night vision goggles, it was just a blind shot. For Ningxi, it posed almost no threat. Good marksmanship, but if you want to hit her, you'll have to wait until the next time. The cartoon action figure coincidentally issued a powerful invisible taunt. You remind me of the best cow from my hometown. I'd like to introduce that cow to you. Damn it, is this mocking me? The last assassin's face finally showed a look of anger. Losing his rationality due to anger and fear, he fired several shots towards the second floor. However, this time, Ningxi was well prepared. Just as the assassin predicted his position and fired, Ningxi, with quick eyes and quick hands, seized the best opportunity, pulled the trigger, and fired. Being as handsome as me, in other games, I'm usually the protagonist, you know. With the last line from the cartoon character, the black-clad assassin fell to the ground with a thud, breathless and dead. Ningxi didn't turn on the lights. She wasn't sure if these assassins had reinforcements. With the night vision goggles, she cautiously descended from the second floor. Approaching the assassins who had already died, Ningxi searched their bodies and found some items related to their identities. B-level. Ningxi slightly frowned. These people turned out to be B-level assassins from the original sin. The term original sin probably dated back to the end of the century, a globally recognized and influential assassin ranking list, especially during a major international war when the existence of the original sin reached its peak. It was not only the largest family force, but even some small countries chose to hire top-level assassins from the original sin. Existence is original sin. Original sin should be erased. The world is full of original sin, and the fire of desire is unbearable. Grit your teeth and resist. When using the power of original sin to eliminate the entire world, this sentence was once hailed as the most sacred Bible of original sin. The so-called B-level assassins were in the lower hierarchy of original sin, and B-level was below A-level. Hee, hiring B-level assassins to kill that person. Ningxi shook her head. It was basically a death wish. Original Sin was not an organization or a force with a complete system. It was just a ranking list. Almost all world-class assassins were on the Original Sin list. Ratings and stars could only be obtained through the Original Sin assassin ranking list to hire those top-notch killers. Like these B-level assassins, they belonged to a branch ranking of Original Sin, and they didn't even have the qualifications for the Original Sin list. So, Ningxi couldn't help but wonder who would hire B-level ordinary assassins from the list to hunt down that person. Being as handsome as me, in other games, I'm usually the protagonist, you know. At this moment, the cartoon action figure that Ningxi had dropped to the first floor was standing upright, giving a thumbs up, showing off its white tiger teeth, and laughing heartily. Ningxi smiled and picked up the cartoon action figure. You really are my lucky charm. Thanks for this time. I'm super handsome. Ningxi said, didn't notice that. It's time to show off my real skills. Ningxi said, are you blind? Didn't you just show off? Young man, we need to finish quickly. I still have some treasures to dig up. In the end, Ningxi used her index finger to turn off the switch of the cartoon character. At this point, the talkative cartoon character finally stopped chattering. Putting the cartoon character action figure on herself, before Ningxi could make any move, irregular footsteps were heard from outside. Immediately, Ningxi quickly hid by the window to observe the situation outside. Several foreign men were hovering outside the door, occasionally glancing at the building, as if waiting for something. These people were not assassins from the Original Sin ranking list. Their irregular footsteps easily gave away their identity. Suddenly, the leader, who had already been desperate for some time, had his pocket ring with a phone ring. Ningxi quickly approached and took out the phone. It was a message from Jeffrey, and the message read, "Is it done?" After contemplating for a moment, Ningxi directly replied with the man's phone, "Done, but this time almost cost us our lives." After a while, the phone rang again. Haha, you've worked hard. As for the reward, I will add some extra for you separately. Now, I'll let my people withdraw, they still have something to do. Ningxi turned off the phone, pondering. The people outside the door should be the subordinates of the person called Jeffrey. Seeing those people leave, Ningxi thought for a while before deciding to leave the building and follow them. She didn't know when the person she was waiting for would come back, so she might as well follow and see who this Jeffrey person was. How dare he hire B-level assassins to assassinate that person? Soon, after a brief preparation, Ningxi quietly followed behind the foreigners. About half an hour later, Ningxi followed them to a relatively secluded villa. There were several men guarding around the villa. Could this Jeffrey be the owner of this villa? Ningxi whispered to herself. If this place was their headquarters, it would be better not to act rashly. Just as Ningxi was about to leave, a man in his 40s or 50s was pushed out of the villa by a few people and fell rudely to the ground. You bastards, this place is my home. You can't kick me out. Absolutely not. The middle-aged man roared in anger, his eyes seeming to emit flames. Hey, who do you think you are now? Perhaps you won't see the morning sun tomorrow. You fool. Oh, dear love, it has been rainy these days. Where is there any sunlight? Stupid, I was just being humorous. You don't understand my humor. Get out of my house, damn it. The middle-aged man struggled to get up, pointing at those people, angrily shouting. You old bastard, get the hell out of here. One young man slapped the right cheek of the middle-aged man with force. A crisp sound rang out as the middle-aged man was slapped to the ground. I'll kick you to death, you old thing. Several young men took turns fiercely kicking the middle-aged man and insulting him with various malicious words. Taking advantage of this moment, Ningxi had quietly entered the villa. In the end, she found that it was just an ordinary villa and not the headquarters of the so-called Jeffrey. She also didn't find Jeffrey in the villa. After completing the search, Ningxi left the villa directly through the front door. Old man, today I'm taking your head. Do you think you can keep your life? Haha. The boss has already said, take your dog life. Love, where's his dog? Let me handle it. You bastard, have you watched too many adult movies? Are you deliberately looking for trouble? A young man named Love laughed and scolded. Ha ha ha. At this moment, the group of people unintentionally glanced at the villa, watching a woman slowly walking out. Seeing this, Love and the others were a bit puzzled. Who was this woman, and why was she coming out of the villa? You. Girl. Not bad, I'm talking about you. Don't look around, look at me. Love stopped the beating of the middle-aged man and blocked Ningxi's way. Ningxi remained expressionless, standing in place. Who are you, and how did you come out of the villa? Love scrutinized Ningxi and, looking at her delicate and exquisite face, smiled with hidden meaning. Is this your home? Ningxi counter-questioned. What did you say? Upon hearing Ningxi's words, Love's face changed, and no one had ever dared to speak to him in such a tone. Girl, I'm Love, the younger brother of the newly appointed boss of Solomon, Jeffrey. Do you know who I am? If you don't, I can tell you. Also, I'm going to sleep with you tonight. Love said fiercely. Upon hearing the words of the young man, Ningxi was slightly stunned. This person turned out to be the younger brother of that Jeffrey. Full of displeasure, Love had just finished speaking when he saw the woman in front of him flash her arm, and her elbow fiercely hit his face. What did you say? I didn't hear it clearly just now. Ningxi stared at Love, who was howling and cursing, and asked indifferently. You stinky bitch, how dare you hit me? Holding his throbbing face, Love glared at Ningxi, then shouted wildly at the people behind him, hit her, beat her to death. Tonight, I must sleep with her. Upon hearing Love's shout, the others finally snapped out of it. Ningxi's beautiful elbow strike had knocked the sturdy Love to the ground, leaving them momentarily stunned. Love, do you want to kill her, or do you want to sleep with her? If she's dead, can you still sleep with her? A bald and muscular man named Batty subconsciously asked. Batty, you're a motherfucker. Get her for me. Love cursed in anger. As Love's words fell, Batty and the others quickly surrounded Ningxi. Wait a minute. Ningxi shook her head. Girl, are you begging for mercy? Batty, the bald and muscular man, coldly shouted. Ningxi strode forward, went to the side, and brought back several iron rods, distributing them one by one to the men. Ningxi's actions left the group of people puzzled, as if they found it difficult to understand. Okay, now you can come. Ningxi clapped her hands, nodding satisfactorily. It's too boring if they're too weak. This way is much better. Damn, I think you're tired of living. You stinky bitch, how dare you look down on us? Seeking death, huh? In the eyes of these people, Ningxi's actions were clearly seen as a provocation and disdain. As outstanding members of Solomon, they couldn't bear it. Of course, they were the ones who called themselves outstanding. Led by the bald and muscular man, the group of people, holding iron rods, ruthlessly attacked Ningxi from top to bottom. Take it easy, I still want to sleep with her later. Don't beat her to death, it will affect my interest. Also, don't hit her face. Love shouted from behind, guarding the middle-aged man. However, after a few breaths, Batty, the leader, was the first to be kicked flying by Ningxi, landing heavily next to Love, his mouth filled with wailing. Like a chain reaction, 1, 2, 3, 4, the others were quickly and cleanly repelled by Ningxi. The iron rods that Ningxi had given them were also thrown away, scattered on the ground. Damn, who is this woman? She's too powerful. The bald and muscular man had a frightened expression. Hit her. Batty, shoot her. At this moment, Love finally realized that something was wrong and told Batty to pull out his gun. In their group, only one gun was issued, and the only gun was with Captain Batty. Although Love was the younger brother of Jeffrey, he didn't have any special privileges in this regard. Hearing this, Batty immediately took out the gun from his waist and aimed it at Ningxi. Ningxi, with a black muzzle pointed at her, remained expressionless. Her right palm was already quietly gripping the gun handle. She was confident that she could shoot and kill Batty in the instant he fired. Shoot! Shoot her, Batty, you idiot! Seeing that the bald and muscular man hesitated to shoot, Love angrily cursed. At this moment, the bald and muscular man looked embarrassed and chuckled, this is done for. I'm always afraid that someone will snatch the gun away during a fight, so I never load the bullets. As soon as the statement was made, Love and the others were completely dumbfounded, while Ningxi almost burst into laughter. No bullets in the gun. Love, upon learning this, erupted into a barrage of curses, targeting the ancestors of Batty for 18 generations. Love, after all, I am the captain of our team. As the captain, I need to have some dignity. It's not good for the team if you keep scolding me. Batty stared at Love. Go to hell with your dignity. Love kicked towards Batty. Batty took a half step back, then immediately assumed a boxing posture. Before Love could react, Batty delivered a hook to Love's chin. Love, I've endured you for a long time. Let me show you how capable I am. Seeing Batty retaliate, the middle-aged man quickly got up and joined Batty, giving Love a thorough beating. While others were considering supporting Love, Ningxi suddenly intervened, using palm strikes to knock several of them unconscious. "Hey, Love, watch my combo." Batty shook his head, raining punches on Love's face like a storm. In no time, Love was battered and bruised. "KO!" Batty shouted triumphantly. With a final punch, he knocked Love out. Then, like a boxing champion, he raised both arms, shook his head, and made strange noises celebrating. Taking advantage of Batty's extreme satisfaction, Ningxi snatched his gun. Batty looked at Ningxi, his previous arrogance quickly turning into dismay. "No bullets." Ningxi chuckled, finding Batty, the bald guy, truly entertaining. "Respected lady, my name is Zeus. Thank you for saving me." The middle-aged man was excited. "I am the leader of Solomon, and I was usurped by my deputy, Jeffrey. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid I wouldn't have survived until tomorrow." "Hey, the most useless boss in history, it's already past midnight. Even without her, you would have made it until today," Batty said seriously. Ningxi felt speechless hearing the man's words. She didn't expect that she had unintentionally saved the leader of some gang. Perhaps because both the boss and his lackey were so useless, and she had never heard of this gang before, Ningxi had always thought Solomon was just a playful small gang. It wasn't until much later that she gradually learned about the terrifying influence of Solomon, and the current leader, Zeus, was the weakest in several generations. At this moment, Ningxi was only concerned about the man's safety, so she urged them directly, "You two, take me to find Jeffrey. Jeffrey is ruthless and cunning. If you go to him, it's like seeking death." Batty shook his head. Feeling Ningxi's threatening gaze, Batty immediately grinned and said, "I think you're right. I'll take you there." Zeus thought for a moment and spoke, "I know a small path that can lead us directly to Jeffrey's lair. Follow me." Half an hour later, outside a mansion in the suburbs, according to the two, Jeffrey was here. "Weird, no one is guarding. Is there a conspiracy?" Zeus was puzzled. Ningxi didn't have time to think about it. Without looking back, she jumped into the mansion. She didn't know where the person she had been waiting for all night was at the moment, and if there was any danger. In the vast mansion, there were about 13 or 14 strong men, all fully armed, patrolling everywhere. Just as Ningxi was contemplating her strategy, there suddenly came a strange sound from the void. A helicopter appeared directly above the mansion. This scene immediately alarmed the armed men in the mansion. From a distance, Ningxi saw a rope attached to the helicopter with a very hot-looking beauty in a tight black suit hanging from it. She had a head of blonde wavy hair, and the undulating curves on her chest were about to burst out. At this moment, the woman was gracefully descending from the helicopter using the rope. Seeing the woman, Ningxi was instantly stunned. She didn't expect the person she had been waiting for all night to finally appear, in such a grand manner.